So let's go ahead and lock that. And now we want to begin to draw our material, our tablets that we need to make. So go ahead and get back on your screen if you've gotten off. Go up to the top area here. We're going to draw another rectangle, but we're going to draw this next rectangle in the color magenta. So the magenta color is the color which cuts out. It is called the outside cut color for the laser cutter. We're going to use this to make our rounded rectangle. So if we go to the rectangle tool, we have our basic rectangle. If we click and hold and release, click and hold, again, if you haven't gotten the menu up yet, you'll see that there's a rounded rectangle tool. We want to choose that. So you can see now we're in the rounded rectangle tool. So we want to click anywhere on our board here, just in this material space. And you'll see that there's a no draw sign, and that's because we're still on our material size. We want to highlight the workspace area, so go over to the layers and highlight that. Now we are working in the workspace area, and you see how we have a little cursor now? Now we can draw. So we're still on the rectangle, rounded rectangle tool. Click once, and now you'll get some options. We want to make a square that's 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So let's go ahead and change that. So 3.5 by 3.5. And we want our radius to be 0.5. And now you'll see a rounded rectangle appear on your screen. Go ahead and go to the left to the toolbar and choose your selection tool. Click anywhere to deselect, and you'll see that this rectangle or this square now is magenta in color. Go ahead and leave the square as it is, but we want to zoom in. So let's zoom in to our area. Now, when you get closer to that rectangle, what we're going to do is we're going to set some reference lines. And we're going to just do this in black, these reference lines. So right now, our stroke is in the magenta. We want to change that to black. So we'll go up to our colors, up at the top, our swatches, and we'll choose black for our line color. Then we're going to go to the left side of our menu here. Click once to get out of that command. Click again on the line segment tool. This line segment tool we'll use to draw reference lines within our rounded square. So you'll see as you hover over the rounded square, there'll be anchors that appear, or paths that appear. We really want to focus on the anchor points. So we're going to get an anchor point right here towards this corner, but kind of at the end of this radius. We're going to click and hold on that anchor point. We're going to move it until we get another anchor point that's parallel with the other lines or perpendicular to some of the other lines. Once we get to that anchor point, we're going to release our mouse to set our line. We want to do that again down below. Get an anchor point, stretch over to the right-hand side. Once you anchor point again, release the mouse. And then we want to do it for the top to the bottom also. Anchor point, drag it down to the other anchor point and release. Anchor point, drag it down to the other anchor point and release. So now we have some reference for circles that we have to put on to our tablet. So we're going to go back over to the left to our toolbar menu. And instead of the rounded rectangle tool, we want the circle or ellipse tool. So we're going to click and hold, and we're going to go to the ellipse tool. Now we are in the ellipse tool command. In this case, we want our circle diameter to be 0.38. However, we do not want it in the magenta color. This cutout will be considered an inside cut. And inside cuts for the laser are designated as a dark blue color. So let's go up to the left to our stroke colors, and let's choose the dark blue color, and now we'll make our circles with that. Click anywhere to get out of that swatch command, and now go ahead and hover over where this intersection happens. You'll see the word intersect pop up. When you see that, you want to click once, and then you'll get a menu. So the width and the height of our circle is going to be the same. It's going to be 0.38 for each. And now we have a perfect circle. Now that didn't really give us a circle right in the center, but we can easily move this circle to where it needs to be. So we're going to zoom in. Then we're going to go to our selection tool on the left-hand side of our toolbar. And at the top, we're going to click on that. And we're going to click in the center of this circle and hold and move it until it says intersect. And then we're going to release. Now we've moved that circle to that actual point of intersection. We want to copy and paste this circle 3 times into these other points of intersection. So we'll go to the center of the circle, hold down the mouse with the left click, and you can hit Control-Alt-Shift all at the same time, and then drag your mouse while still holding the left click down until you get intersect, and then you can release your mouse and you have an automatic copy. When you click anywhere, it gets you out of the selection. Now if you decide that you want to just copy paste, you can also select the item and then hit either Control-C or Command-C in order to copy, or Control-V or Command-V in order to paste. So we'll do that this time for the next 2. So we'll do Command-C, Command-V. So you can see we have another item. We're going to go from the center of that circle and move it till it says intersect into this corner here. And we'll paste that again. We'll do Command-V or Control-V, whichever, if you're on a PC or a Mac, whichever works for you. And then we'll move that up to the point of intersection. So now we have our circles within our rounded square area. Now we don't need the reference lines anymore. So let's go ahead and delete those. So we'll click on one. Now hold down Shift as you click on the others. And you'll see what's happening is that some of them are chosen, but it seems like there's a large rectangle here. It has not chosen the magenta line though. The reason it hasn't chosen the magenta line is because the space in the center isn't considered to be white. It's considered to not have any color with it. So once you have all those lines selected, you're going to hit delete on your keyboard. And now those lines of intersection are gone. Now, once you have those lines of intersection gone, we're going to create text. We need text in order to know how to thread our tablets. So there's letters that are used in order to reference how to thread the tablets. It's A through D. So we're going to go ahead and go to our text menu on the left-hand side. And again, the laser cutter is going to understand certain items in regards to how it's to be cut. We don't want our text to be cut all the way through. We want our text to be engraved, specifically a deep engrave. So we want to change our stroke color, our outline color of our text to yellow. So we'll go up to our swatch menu at the top left. We'll change our text color outline to yellow. We also want to change the size of our font. So at the top here, you'll see the style and the size. We want to put it at 36 point. Go ahead and change that, type in 36, and hit enter. So now our font's going to be large enough for the engraving on the tablet. Go ahead and move your cursor anywhere within your tablet and click once, and it'll allow you to type. Put your cap locks on, type the letter A down. So you see what's happened. All of a sudden we've gone back to black. So in this case, the text has defaulted to black. We can change that in a minute. It's a quick fix, but before we just change one of them, we're going to go ahead and type all the text out in black. So we have the A done. Now we don't want to type everything out all at once. We want individual letters. So we're going to go back to our regular selection tool in the top left, click onto that. We're going to go back to our text tool, click on that. Now we can come back over and type the next letter, and that's going to be B. Again, we can go to our regular selection tool, click on that. You can also type in V as a shortcut if you'd like to, in order to go quickly to the regular selection tool. In this case, we'll just click on the tool itself, and you'll see we have the B done now. Now we'll go back to the text. You can also type in T. We'll do type in T this time, and it'll automatically take you to the text tool. So the next letter we're going to have is C, but C is going to go here. It's not going to go to the left. It's going to go on the right-hand side. So now we'll type in C. Now we're going to type in V to go to our regular selection tool. Oops. First, we need to get out of it. We'll go to our selection tool to get out of it. And now we'll go to our text tool by typing T. Go ahead and click once. Now you're going to put down a D. Okay? So that's all of our text. We're going to go ahead and change this text to an outline yellow like we previously planned to do. So let's go to our selection tool. You can see the D is selected still. In order to select all the other letters, we're going to want to hold down Shift as we click on each of them. So hold down Shift and then click your A, your B, and your C. And you'll see that they all are part of the selection. Now we want to change this to an outline of yellow. If we go to the left here, we can see that it's filled with black and there's no outline color, no stroke color. So we want to actually, the fill color, we want actually to be strike through on it. So we're going to go to this little strike through and we're going to select that. Looks like our text disappears, but it's still there. Now we want to click on the stroke tool on the left-hand side, right there. Bring that forward. Now we can choose our color. So we want to go up to our swatches, up at the top left, click down on the down arrow, and choose your yellow swatch. Now you can see our stroke color has filled with yellow. You can see our text is now yellow also. So we've corrected the issue where our text was a black fill, and now we've made it a yellow outline. Go ahead and click anywhere to get out of the command. One thing you want to do is position these letters in a location to where they're about the same from the holes. You don't want them too close at all. So just click and hold and then drag. When you click and hold and drag, you'll be able to move their location. You can begin to see how they'll align with the intersection lines. So I would try to get them as close to an alignment as possible to all four. So that works pretty well for us, the ones we have here. It's hard to see the yellow text, but it's there. And it'll actually be harder to see later on as you'll find out. But you can tell we have A, B, C, and D. Now one last thing we need to do with the text is create outlines for it. The laser cutter sometimes does not recognize fonts. So that means that for this text, we have to create outlines to where it's seen more as an object and less as a font. So let's select all of our text. Let's click on the A, or hold down Shift, click on B, C, and D. From there, we're going to take our cursor, and we're going to go over to Type up at the top menu, Create Outlines. So now our text has been converted to outlines, and the laser cutter will have no problem recognizing it.